Hey, welcome guys. If you're trying to trade options, you know that they're really risky and hard to calculate. So what a lot of people do is they use Options Profit Calculator. And while it is a great website to use, it's a little bit hard to find the perfect trade. So what you do is you go here, you type in Nicola, and then you click on one of these. Which one? I don't know. And then you do the other leg, and you kind of just get a feel for it. You press calculate, and then you see the trade, and you say, okay, that's probably a good trade. Now you want to change it a little bit. You have to go back here, let it load again, choose a different one, and it doesn't actually calculate for the bid and ask. So even though it looks like a great trade, it's going to be a lot worse than that. It's using the mid price. So they have some new features that they're releasing. You can type in Options Profit Calculator beta, check out their beta. It's actually pretty good. But before that, I found a website called OptionStrat, which is kind of just a better version of the Options Profit Calculator. So you can go to build, do the same thing you were doing over there with a call spread, type in Nicola, and you can see it already fills it in for you. And the best thing is you can just slide this around and play with those various strikes rather than having to click and then click again and try to guess. And you also have this over here, which allows you to choose whether you want to use the mid price like Options Profit Calculator or the real bid ask, which is going to show you how much is actually going to be when you trade it on the platform. So you can quickly adjust the expiration dates. You can right click on here to add an additional strike. You can even add you can even do covered calls, and it'll buy the underlying, and then you can move it around, and you can definitely move this around and see the effect it has. So you're able to do all that stuff manually, choose the build whichever one you want, and they do help you out a lot. They have various graphs just like Option Profit Calculator, and even the percentages here. So it is very good. However, instead of spending time playing with the values trying to find a good trade, what you can do is just click optimize, and it'll take that same symbol and the expiration, and it'll calculate for you. If you're bullish, it'll choose a price target that's a reasonable distance away, and it'll show you the trades for that price target. So you can see the yellow line is obviously the price target. So over here is the blue line is the current price, the dotted line is the break even, and the yellow line is the target. So you can change the target price, so you can set it to something more realistic like 17. And you can see that the blue line, the yellow line changes. So this trade, for example, shows 116% return. The dotted line is in the green actually, so that's very good. You don't want the dotted line to be far in the red. That means you're going to have to, the price has to move in your direction a lot before you can actually break even. If it's in the green, that means you're already breaking even as soon as if the trade stays with no movement at all, you'd actually be in the green. So over here, you'd be in the green, but it's only at 31% of your collateral, which is 100. So you can do some math, but I like the bull calls because they're the credit spreads, because the debit spreads are very obvious. So you can definitely just see the exact return. You can also do covered calls. So it shows 14% return, not too bad. But I always choose the debit call spread, or the debit spread. And so I choose which target. I like 2 weeks out because most of my strategies involve 1 week of moving. And so I use the strategies on TradingView, which I'll go into in a sec. But let's say this is the call that we want. So we're going to open it in the visualizer, and it's going to plot those numbers in there and give you the graph. As you can see with the bid ask, this is what it's looking like. And if you change it to the mid, of course, it's going to be more favorable, but you always want to use the bid ask if you're pretty much always. All right, so you can slide this around to zoom in and zoom out. And then you can also edit the IV, the implied volatility, so you can see what would happen if the IV goes up or down, which is really good for for non-spreads, but for spreads, it doesn't really matter too much. You're probably going to hold it for the duration. Sell near the last day. So what I'm looking for is when you click percentage, you're going to see 100% loss if it expires in this range, and then 100% gain if it expires up here, and 116. So I don't really look for 116. I'm looking for just 100. So I might slide this down some, play with the values, try to get close to 100. And what I'm looking for is that my break even is below the actual price. That would be really awesome. And also that I can get up to 100 up and down. And so what this means is when the price moves 1.8% in expiration, I'll make 22%. So I'm leveraging kind of like I'm holding 22 times the stock, or sorry, I don't know the math, but probably 10 times leverage on this. So if it moves up 9%, you get 100%. So basically 10 times whatever the price moves, you make 10 times that much. Up to a certain point, then it just becomes the max, where it's favorable and it's reasonable in both directions. So the stock doesn't have to move at all for me to make profit, but if it does go up, I'm in the money. And if it goes down, I can, if it goes down on this day, I can hold on to it until it comes back up, or I can close it out early for a loss. So what you can do instead of trading, you can basically do paper trading. So you click save trade, you can type in a name. I always leave that blank, and then down here I type in the description the reasoning why I'm buying this. So I can say the reason I bought Nikola was because it was in the news, or I have a screener that showed it to me. A lot of the times what I'm going to do is just click on flow, click on the flow summary, and I'll see the kind of trades that people are making today. So this is today's trades and how much money is inside these trades. So these are trades that people made. So if you click on the SPY, it'll show you the kind of trades that people made. So $150 here, $150,000 to $300,000. So you can see what the big money is doing. I like to remove those ETFs and just look at what kind of stock individual companies are being bet on. So you can see Tesla's being the most money's 50 million is being put into it today for it in bullish trades, and only 13 million in bearish trades, and it's the most. So probably there's you can assume that $50 million is not going to get lost on just crazy trades. It's probably a reasonable trade. Click there and you see what kind of trades they're making. So this guy is doing a call. So let's click on it, and you can get a summary of the call trade. So here's the details. There's a 33% chance of profit. Here's his max risk and reward. And open in visualizer, you can actually see the trade and what the big money is doing. They're making a risky bet that it's going to go up. So if it moves up 8%, they're going to be in the money. But if we zoom out, you can see what they're trying to do is hope that it goes up 30% in a few weeks, and they'll make a huge return. That's not really my style. If I was to do a call, I would move it down a bit so that I can break even down here. So over here, obviously it gets more expensive, but you get the same reward. If it goes up 19%, then you can make 100% return, and that scales infinitely. And the max loss is at 16%, so it's either 19% up or down. You're going to hit your max, and then past that, you're just going to get huge returns. So that's more of what I would do. Some people like to do the cheaper ones, where if it does go up 19%, you're going to make a huge return, but it has to hit that. So depending on how confident you're feeling, you can either do a really cheap all the way on the right, or you can do a really safe on the left and just have a leverage position. So once you have the trade, you click save, and then you can go to my account, view the saved trades, and it'll track the trade throughout its lifetime. So you can see if you made a trade, if you would have made money, if you would have lost money, and you click on it, and you can see what kind of what it's looking like today. So you can see if I hold on to it, I'm still going to make money. And then same thing for the losers. You can click on them, and you can see if I hold on to them, I have a chance of losing more and more every day. So over here, like today, it's at 18%. But the longer I hold on to it, the more I lose. Maybe I should close this position, or you can go back to the graphs and see if it's going to recover. Okay, so when you save a trade, you have two options. You can either save the trade with the bid ask, or you can save it with the mid. However you save it, that's how it's going to show on the save pages. So if you click mid, you're going to start off with 0% returns because it's theoretical. But if you click bid ask, you're going to start off with negative returns because whenever you make a real trade, you always are going to lose money on the bid ask spread. So if you go here, you can see that you're going to lose 2.7% just by saving this trade or by purchasing it on the broker. So I always like to click the bid ask if you're going to do the paper trading, just to get the honest return and not the theoretical stuff. But there is times you would use the mid if you're trying to compare strategies. So as soon as you save it, you're going to see some negative, and then throughout the lifetime of it, hopefully it'll go green.